Hello, this is Elvi from Comic Book Bin, fill you in since 2002. Finding the right Superman action figure is not an easy task. I try to do it. I started with the Page Puncher last year, and this year I got the DC Classic Superman. They're the exact same figure except for the head. I usually do not buy the same character with the same mold unless it's an army builder, but in this case, the DC Classic Superman was so cheap on Amazon that I couldn't pass it up. It is a Superman action figure that I had been looking at for quite a while, but obviously the super sale at Amazon got me to purchase the second figure, which in the end is the Superman I would have wanted from the beginning. The Page Puncher Superman, while very contemporary, darker, and edgy, is not the Superman that I ultimately wanted. I've seen people burn this figure on YouTube. It's an okay Superman. He's much darker, and as a stand-in, he was okay, but obviously the classic Superman is a much better figure, even though it's the exact same figure except for the head. It's amazing how much one head can change a character. Let's review them a bit further. You'll notice that they came with several hands. The classic came with more, with flying and grasping and fist, whereas the other one came with flying or relaxed hand and fist only. The skin tone is not the same. He appears a bit more sickly here, this guy, versus the classic has a more fleshy tone. Doesn't look like Grodd or someone who lacks sunlight, which makes him a much better figure. The articulation on both of this figure are great, very smooth. I can't complain at all. There's nothing I can say about the articulation. This is the best McFarlane can do right now, and this is good enough for me. Double pin, double articulation everywhere, even toe articulation. I don't like the ball joints that McFarlane uses for the wrist, but that's how they make their figures. The biggest complaint everybody has about those figures is the hands. Their hands are way too big. I've tried to see if I could find matching hands that would be smaller than these. I can't. So I guess we're gonna have to live with Superman with big hands for now. He looks kind of silly, especially the classic version here. Looks almost like a monkey with those huge hands. The fist might be better. It looks more realistic. The cape is also something to consider. They both have the same cape. I would have preferred a more open cape than something that's folded this way, but this is McFarlane for you exactly. So you know, with McFarlane action figures, this is what you get, right? There's not much you can do. The figures have weird scales. They don't always match with one another in the collection, like the Martian Manhunter is way too short. This is how he makes his figures. Some of them have weird grins or they look sideways, but the figures are getting improved and better all the time. This Superman is much better than the other one, obviously, just because of the color and the head. The head in the first one, in the Page Puncher, is a bit too small. The head in the other one is a bit bigger and fits. Now the hands continue to be an eyesore. What can I say? This is a Superman that I need. I don't need any other Superman action figure right now. Now, if I could get a pair of hands that were more in scale and of the same type, obviously this where you can plug in a peg, I would use that. I've tried other figures from McFarlane and I couldn't find anything that would fit, so that's a bummer. Besides that, I like those figures. They're great part of my collection. I'm gonna try to get rid of the Page Puncher because I don't need two Superman right now. So if you're interested in making a price, it's very cheap. Probably not gonna be asking a lot of money for this figure. I've got the Superman that I wanted, which is this one. He looks great with the other guys, and he came with more hands and I guess less of the usual McFarlane typical crap that you don't need, like those cards or those digital whatever it is that he likes to produce. This is a very brief review of the Page Puncher Superman and the classic DC Superman from McFarlane Toys. This is Hervé from Comic Book Bin, filling you in since 2002. Like and subscribe.